Hey y'all, it's Bear, and today I'm not doing a video. So today I have people here to give you a spooky book recommendation that they think everyone should read. I like the idea of kind of doing like a horror starter pack recommendation, and I might do that later on in the month. Let me know if you're interested. But I did want to get outside perspective. I wanted to bring people on my channel whose taste I trust, people who I know we like kind of vibe when it comes to the same books, people who know the genre, and people who are a little bit newer to the genre. I wanted to pull from all sides. Also, do want to mention right now that everyone's information will be linked in the description downstairs. So without further ado, I'm gonna start rolling the clips.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nikia and my channel is called Nikia's Hideaway. I want to thank Bear for inviting me to participate in this video. Now, I told them I do not feel as though I have a horror book to recommend, but thriller, that's my thing. And they were like, that's fine. They kind of go hand in hand. And I was like, oh, well then I know the perfect book I want to recommend. And that would be The Passengers by John Mars. Now, if you have not read this book, you need to get on it. It is about 8 people who get into self-driving cars. This is an alternate world where self-driving cars are becoming the law. All older cars that don't have any tech or anything are being phased out. And again, you are going to be required to have a self-driving car. And like I said, these passengers get in the car, they go on about their day. And as they're going along for their ride, a voice comes in and says, hello, so-and-so. By the end of this day, you're most likely going to be dead. They try to open the windows, the doors, they can't get out the car. They try to scream, the windows tint so the people outside can't see in. Now, to me, that's terrifying. So, I mean, that's the point of horror, is to scare you, right? And the other thing is that the public is watching this and they get to decide on one person to save based off of information they're going to hear about each passenger during a certain amount of time. Like I said, this book had me on the edge of my seat. It is gruesome at times. Like I said, it is suspenseful. You will have no idea where it is going. And I loved every minute of it. I gave it 5 stars. And as I said, I highly recommend it. So you can cozy up with it, get comfortable, enjoy it for fall, Halloween time. Don't forget me when you read it. And again, I want to thank Bear for having me participate in this video, and hope to see you all soon. Bye.
Hi, my name is Charles from the channel Upchuck, and the book that I want to recommend for you to read this Halloween is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basarica. This is about a virus that has happened that affects all animals. And it makes it so people can't eat animal meat anymore. And so instead of going like vegetarian or something, we start eating people. But you know, there's a lot of things that kind of come with that. And we follow from the perspective of a man who works at a processing plant for the meat and everything. And you see how much of the world has changed, how not just our food industry has changed, but other industries that rely on animal products or animals, like lab testing, leather products and all that. And how when you take a group of people and you decide that they're less than, how that brings out really the worst in humanity. And you see how this group is treated and referred to and consumed and commodified. And yeah, I think it's not just a absolutely terrifying and really gruesome book. There's a lot of really gruesome scenes that kind of still make me sick to this day, but socially very terrifying. Some of the real world implications that kind of comes a lot with horror books. But yeah, I'm in the middle of like a reread of this. It's one of my favorite books, and if you haven't read it already, you should definitely read it.
Hello, my name is Stephanie from the channel Stephanie Bookish, and my horror recommendation is The Good House by Dowry of Blood. So The Good House is a multi-generational story that has multiple perspectives, but the main perspective is from Angela. And Angela is trying to rebuild her life after her son committed suicide. So trigger warning for suicide, it is a huge part of this book and it is talked about explicitly. So she decides that she wants to leave the city that she's in, which is somewhere in LA, and go back to her hometown and live in her grandmother's old house. And this is where things start to get creepy because there's something wrong with this house. And for generations, that has always been talked about, that weird things happen around and in this house. So the cool thing about this book that I really loved is that you're getting a lot of different perspectives where weird things happen, but you also get the perspective of the past. So you are getting Angela's grandmother's perspective, the one who originally built the house, and you are getting Angela's son's perspective at different points in time leading up to his death. I'll admit this book is kind of a slow build to something really creepy, but I think it pays off in the end. So if you are somebody who really likes haunted house stories and curses and slow builds that lead to something really creepy and kind of messed up, then I highly recommend The Good House by Dowry of Blood. Not only did I love the writing, I just loved the story and how it unfolded in general. I loved the tone of the story. I loved the structure of the story. Also, I did a hybrid read of this book, so I can highly recommend the audiobook as well if you are an audiobook listener. And if you do end up picking up this book, come find me. I'd love to talk about it.
Hello cuties, what's up? We have a very messy Jessie here who is recovering from severe allergies. So I sound like Freddy Krueger. And I just wanted to give a big thank you to my beloved Brody for featuring me in this fantastic video. I love a good spooky book, and I'm going to give you 2 spooky book recommendations. The first is going to be The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. This is going to be a good book for those who enjoy like a riotous, don't take itself too seriously slasher type film vibe book. What is English? And it is about these girls who are trying to survive a serial killer. And it is very, very good. The audiobook is phenomenal. And then if you want a more serious, horror book recommendation, I'm gonna go with, I cannot say this author's name correctly to save our lives, but Anya Alborn. And she wrote The Shuddering, which is this amazing surviving in the wilderness against monster werewolf types, where this group of friends go out into the wilderness and they're trying to survive a werewolf attack. And it is the bee's knees. It is bloody and gory and creepy and atmospheric, and it is perfect for the upcoming winter season. So those are my spooky book recommendations. Thank you to Brody. I love y'all.
Hello friends, my name is Michelle, if you don't know me. First of all, before I get into any recommendations, I want to thank Bear for inviting me in for this horror collab. I do love horror and I do love Bear, and I really appreciate the opportunity. So thank you for having me. This is really great. And now, because my time is short, and if you know me, you know that I ramble a lot, I will go into the book that I want to recommend to you today, and that is Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. I don't know if I'm the only one recommending it here, but I definitely think that this book needs a lot of attention. It's very short. It's more of a novella, really. It's very short. And this is for everyone who ever loved movies like Scream, for example, because it feels like a genuine 90s slasher. What I think Stephen Graham Jones does really great here is transporting you into the mind of a teenager and what's happening there, but at the same time also delivering an incredibly unreliable narrator. So if you like unreliable narrators, especially in the slasher genre, this one is for you. There are twists at every corner, and the premise that kind of gets you started on this book, which is about this group of friends who used to play with a mannequin when they were children, and then they abandoned it, and then suddenly the mannequin comes back to hunt them. That's the basic premise, but it's not at all what it seems from the get-go. It reads super fast, the voice is spot on for the main character, and I think while being very serious and obviously very slashery, I think it's also a lot of fun, and it's a great exploration of teenagehood. I think it's really, really great, and I think the dynamic between the characters is really really easy to appreciate and really easy to follow along and kind of feel for the characters. So if you're looking for something short that feels like a 90s slasher, but it's also with an unreliable narrator that takes you for a spin, this is for you. It's really great. I can only recommend it.
Hello everyone, it's Tori from Tori Dreaming, and today I'm gonna recommend a spooky middle grade, and I have a feeling that Bear already knows, but it's fine. It's fine. Today I want to recommend Hide and Seeker by Dr. Herman. This book is my favorite spooky middle grade. I cannot stress enough how much I want people to read this. The cover is what had me sold, and when I read it, it was like 5 out of 5 stars. Hide and Seeker is about a group of kids who have a friend that was missing, and after a year he shows up and he is completely different. He's acting very weird, very strange, and they all go to his house for like a welcome home party that his mom put together. But when they get there, he's still acting very weird and strange, and they come up with an idea to play the game hide and seek. However, when they play hide and seek, things go terribly wrong and terribly creepy, and basically there's like an entity out to get them, and they have to figure out how to conquer that. Look at this cover and it reminds you of Stranger Things, and you love Stranger Things, please read this book because it has so many Stranger Things like vibes. So they play hide and seek and basically get taken to another world, and they have to figure out how to get out of there. Honestly, this world reminds me of the Upside Down in Stranger Things. That's why I say that. It's truly so amazing. So if there's any book that you pick up for the spooky season, please make it Hide and Seeker, a wonderful spooky middle grade.
Hello everyone, my name is Emma from the channel Dearest Emma, and today I am here to recommend you Horrid by Katrina Leno. So I think this book would be a great recommendation for someone that's kind of looking to dip their toes into the horror genre, but not read something that's like super graphic or super scary. This book definitely has kind of a gothic fairy tale vibe. So this book follows our main character Jane, and her father has recently passed away, and her mom can't afford to live in California anymore. So over the summer they pack up everything and they move across the country to Maine to live in this big abandoned house that her grandmother used to live in. And quickly after moving in, she starts to experience some spooky things and starts questioning why her grandmother always came to visit them and why they never went to visit her before, and why her mother, as soon as she could move out, did move out and never went to visit that house again. And it seems to Jane like her mother is just trying to spend as little time in that house as she possibly can, which leaves Jane alone a lot in that house. And Jane starts to question why there's this one room that's always locked that she sees her mom coming in and out of a lot. And her mom insists that it's just a storage room and it's boring and there's no reason for Jane to ever go in there. But there's obviously some sort of family secrets and some spooky things happening at that house. So I absolutely loved it, and I just think it was a really beautiful, poetic, well done story. And I'm also a sucker for stories set in a haunted house. So that is my recommendation. Ever since I read it, I've been trying to get everyone I know to read it, so I hope you enjoy if you do decide to read it.
I agree. I'm Melitta, and my channel is the Midnight Librarian. I have two recommendations for horror would have to be The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones and Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I think about these two all the time. I am not the biggest horror reader, but these ones I had so much fun with. This one in particular was really creepy. Follows 4 Blackfeet men who end up going and hunting elk in a spot where they're not supposed to be hunting in and killing them unethically. And years later end up getting hunted down themselves by elk-headed woman. It's really creepy, very gory. Not gory, but gruesome in terms of some of its descriptions, but really fun in the fact that I ended up rooting for elk-head woman, but kind of just shows the struggles that Native men have within our Indigenous community, as well as the consequences of one's actions to not only themselves but those around them. Yes, and then of course there is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, aka Shannon McGuire. It is about an entertainment company that ends up sending out a crew to the Mariana Trench to do a mockumentary on mermaids. However, the boat is found with all its crew missing, and so there is a viral video that goes up later of like that the crew actually found mermaids, but it's being scrutinized by the public of being fake. There's conspiracy theories, but the entertainment company swears that there's nothing fake about it. So years later, they are sending out an actual research team to the Mariana Trench to find out what happened to their first crew. There are a bunch of scientists. In particular, one of the scientists is, I believe, a marine biologist whose sister was on the first crew. So she definitely wants to find out what happened to her sister and what's really out there. We're following a couple different perspectives. Creepy. I love the atmosphere of it. I'm particularly really afraid of the ocean just because there's so much we don't know. But at the same time, it's like this impending fear of not knowing, but like I also just have a fear of I can't swim in anything that I can't see the bottom to. So like lakes, particularly deep rivers and the ocean, really freak me out. But at the same time, I have this like overall curiosity with marine biology. So like I'm interested, but I'm creeped out.
Hello everyone, my name is Megan. My channel is Reading and Rum, and you can also find me on Bookstagram and Book Twitter under the same name. But I'm here today on Bear's channel to talk about a book that I think is a must-read horror novel. And for that one, I'm going to go with The Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is an independently published horror novel that has came out this year, and it is a retelling of Dracula's Brides. And one thing I was not expecting whenever I was going into this book is that it's actually written in second person point of view. You are following our main character as she is writing her last love letter to Dracula, or what some people would consider a confession, because our story opens up with our main character murdering Dracula. I mean, and that's not a spoiler, like it's literally page 2. It's insane. It's so cool. I've never really read a book quite like this. Yes, there is the horror elements that you will stereotypically find in horror novels: vampires, gore, blood, disturbing sex scenes, religious trauma. But there's also the horror of an abusive relationship. And you really, like, the author really breaks down the manipulation and the gaslighting that goes into it, and how you can go into the relationship as one person and become someone completely different, to where you're second guessing your entire personhood and who you are. Like, it's just, it's terrifying. But also, the writing in this is absolutely incredible. I will share a passage with you that is in the beginning, so we're near the beginning, and it says, "You did not let me keep my name, so I will strip you of yours. In this world, you are what I say you are, and I say you are a ghost, a long night's fever dream that I have finally woken up from. I say you do not have a name." Very good. Highly recommend this. I think it's going to be a modern classic in the years to come.
Hi, I'm Jordeline. My channel is Jordeline Reads. Thank you so much to Bear for inviting me to participate in this video. I am obsessed with you, Bear. I hope you continue to strive and thrive and be the bad bitch that you are. Bear has asked us to talk about a spooky book that everyone should read. In case you didn't know, in case you weren't aware, I am like the queen of spooky shit. Like, I'm kind of like the empress of spooky shit. Like, horror is my middle name. What else was I gonna do besides put my full soul and heart into it, into thinking of the perfect recommendation that anyone and everyone should read? I said anyone and everyone, but really in my head, I'm thinking like grown adults. I'm thinking like people who are over 18. I'm thinking people who are going into the horror genre wanting to see some fucked up shit. The book I want to talk to you about is one of my favorite books of all time, and honestly one of my favorite people of all time. Like, let's be honest, some authors are fucked up. Some authors are like actually disgusting people who don't deserve a fucking dime that we give them. This person is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, the cat's ass, if you will. I'm talking about Sergio Gomez, and I'm talking about his seminal classic, Camp Slaughter. Camp Slaughter is a slasher horror novel about a group of teenager college students who are like, let's go to the woods and to this like cabin place. And so they get there. Unbeknownst to them, there is a psycho cannibal guy who is like watching them and like waiting for them so he can nom, you know? So he can murder them. So he can fucking... This is quintessential slashers. If you're thinking like, oh my god, Clown on a Cornfield was so crazy, bitch, you haven't seen anything. Slaughter books like this are perfect for autumn and winter weather. It's kind of fun. You can easily sort of sink back into it and like get immersed into the world of gore and horror. What I love so much about what Sergio does here specifically, he puts so much character development into our antagonist, into the cannibal, whose name is Ignacio. And Ignacio is fucked. He's fucked. The dude is gross. He has like a shrine to his mother with her decapitated head on it. It's not really like a head anymore, it's more like a skull, but like, yikes. Genuinely, I was terrified when I read this, especially the prologue of the book. The prologue needs Jesus. I hope you give Camp Slaughter a try. I hope you like it if you do read it. Thank you so much to Bear. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, I am Jordeline. My channel is Jordeline Reads.
So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and this collab. I had a lot of fun putting this together, so let me know if you're interested in seeing more in the future and what genres you would like to see me do specifically in the future. I want to once again express gratitude to everyone who participated in this collab. Thank you for putting your time, your energy, thought into your recommendations. And for being so efficient and quick to get back to me on things. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all made this very easy and very fun for me to do. Everyone's links will be mentioned in the description, so make sure you go check them out. And there are also places you can follow me around the internet and support me further if you so choose. Comment question of the day: I want you to recommend everyone else in the comment section a book. Let me know what your must-read spooky horror thriller mystery book is. And if you don't have time, you don't have the spoons, you don't have an answer, or you don't want to answer, let me know you made it all the way until the end of the video by leaving me a yellow heart emoji or a smiley face emoticon. I hope you have a wonderful whatever it is, wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow for another spooky related video. Thank you for watching. Okay, cool. Bye.